Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a new paper crafting video. Today I am making a double slider card with a shaker inspired by the parameters from the Craft Roulette show episode 279. Such a fun crafting along game show that you can play, you can submit, and you can get in community with other people who are crazy about paper just like us. Okay, so this is from episode 279 with my friend Crafty Owl was on, and here's the parameters. We had to make a kid's card. We had to use theater colors. It had to include an element of a picture, and it had to have a random element of half and half. Now you can interpret these things however you want. So I planned out my card there in my what is it called? The Craft Roulette Companion. And for the kids, I'm bringing in these Tiny Friends stamps that I have from Fawn. Now, I wanted to include a rainbow in my card because Crafty Owl, her thing is rainbows. So she has rainbow everything. And I personally love all things rainbow too. So I'm going to ink blend a rainbow that I'm going to die cut a camera from. So I made sure my paper was a little bit bigger than the camera. And then I'm going to use my favorite ink blend rainbow combination, which is Kitsch Flamingo, Squeezed Lemonade, and Salvage Patina, which is like my favorite color. And I'm ink blending these with the ink blending brushes or blending buddy brushes from Trinity Stamps. They cover a wide area really quickly. They're soft, they're easy to hold. They're my favorite. If you've watched any of my videos, you've probably already seen me use them. So I start out with the yellow and I do a pretty wide swatch of that because it's not only going to be yellow, but it's also going to be orange and green. So I do that. Then I'll bring in the Kitsch Flamingo from the bottom and let those overlap, but I'm not getting the perfect blend just yet because I need to go back and forth between the colors at least one more time. And bringing the Salvage Patina up from the bottom also, but that's just because that's how it works best for me to go from the bottom each time, so I just rotated my paper. It's always really important for me too to clean off my mat between colors, and then I wipe the brush off onto like a scratch paper, and that helps get rid of any ink blended color that's on the brush so I don't bring that into play on a future project when I don't really want to. Plus I have this scratch paper that's like potentially a future background, so it's like a 2-for-1. Love it. So my background's coming together beautifully. I love this combination. I've used it a lot, and there's my scratch. I'll use that for something later, probably. So then it's time for a little splatter. I love splatter. I love shimmer and shine. This is from Spellbinders. I'm shimmer. I can't think of the name of it. Okay, so you could die cut your camera either way on this paper, but for getting the most bang for my buck, I wanted the rainbow to go top to bottom. There is another piece from this camera set, which is called Insta-Snap. It's from Trinity Stamps. I am adding that to the side of the camera. So this is supposed to kind of look like an instant camera where the, pictures will come out the bottom, which they're totally going to come out the bottom and the top of this card because I'm going to make a double slider. So I'm just having so much fun with this. There is also the words Say Cheese in this die set, so I die cut all of those together. What I want to create is a little opening where you can see through to the rainbow part of the card from this saying. So I'm not going to use any letters, but just the fallout pieces that go in the center of the A, the loop of the S, and the loop of the Y. So it brings those to life a little bit better. And this is tedious, tiny little things that make me crazy, but I had to have them. So I just got a little glue there on my mat. I dipped them in, stuck them down, and it was so worth it because that looks so cute. Okay, now speaking of sparkle and shine, look at this sequin paper. It is so good. It is from the 12x12 cardstock shop. If you love specialty papers, it's a great place to get them. It's a locally owned small shop in the state of Utah, and I know one of the gals that works there, and it's just a really good company. So check out the 12x12 cardstock shop if you're into supporting small businesses like I am. And I got this paper from there too. It's like so mirror. It's so good. So I added a few accents with that, and now I'm building my shaker. So I'm taking that largest circle frame in this set, and I cut it from the glossy black cardstock, and then I cut a piece from the same die of foam core board, and that's going to lift this up and help it be a shaker. Then I pulled out a circle die that was just a hair smaller than that frame so I could die cut my window sheet. So it'll be just a hair smaller. That makes it really easy to line up. You don't have to worry about it sticking out one side or the other. Because my opening for my shaker is black, I decided to color around the edges of this foam core board and do that with the chisel tip of my marker, which gets so little attention and use. So it was happy to come out and play for a little bit. All right, instead of using that sequin paper on the little shutter button, I changed it out for that mirrored paper. All right, so now it's time to make the shaker. Now these confetti pieces, this is kind of a sneak peek. It is not yet out at the Trinity Stamp shop, but they were available in the Trinity Stamp shop at Paperganza as like a sneak peek for those people that attended and wanted to shop. So I thought I would show them to you here, but they're going to be available on August 18th at Trinity Stamps. They're having an embellishment release. It's very exciting. Okay, so I'm going to glue that into place. I put a window sheet on the back too because I wanted that see-through element again where you could see through to the rainbow. But the camera shutter is just looking too large and in charge. So you've got a couple options you can add to this. There's another wider ring, and I did that from the sequin paper. It's so good. All right, then we need the photo element for this card. Remember, that was one of the parameters from Roulette. And if you haven't watched before, they have a wheel that they spin, and the wheel selects a number. The number corresponds to a parameter in 4 different categories. So they choose a parameter from 4 different categories. And then the host, Mary Gunfun, and her special guest, which this last time was Crafty Owl, they each make a card right there live with those parameters. They don't plan, they just have fun and make it. And then people watching can play along and submit their card. They have sponsors who give away prizes, and it's a really fun community of amazing people. So if you're new to paper crafting, this is the perfect way for you to get in community with other paper crafters, and they are so welcoming, such nice people, and whatever kind of crafting that you're into, your style, your level, they are all for it. So it's a really fun place to be. The show happens almost every Friday night live on YouTube. It's Craft Roulette on YouTube. So go find it. I'll be there in the chatterbox any Friday that I possibly can, so you'll love it. Just check it out. All right, so now I am drawing in a little scene. I am not, an artist where I draw lots of things. That's why I stamp. But I can do a little tree. Plus, Mary on Craft Roulette, she does some sketching on her stuff from time to time. So I was inspired by Mary to just go for it, make these little scenes. And then we're going to get our little people out. So 2 of my people are not actually kids, but one of them is going to be a kid. I thought it was going to be this little girl I just sat down on there, but it's actually not, because as I was placing down the images that I thought, oh, these are fun, these are cute, I decided I was going to change one of them. So we'll get into that in just a minute, but I wanted to tell you about this ink. It's the Dare to Be Artsy Totally Black ink. It is my favorite. It's a hybrid. You can use it for so many things besides just alcohol marker coloring, and that's why I love it. It's a really good black. All right, so now I'm going to use my Olo markers. Now, these are Juicy McJuicy, which I absolutely love, but that means I don't need very much ink to do ink blending. So I'm just dotting on some color and using 2 shades on a few things, like this cat named Kerwin, because that's Mary's cat. It's a black cat. So this is Kerwin. He is sometimes in some of her videos. If you watch the show, there's kind of commercials. I don't know. They're super cute, so crafty and fun. So anyway, so there's Kerwin, and then this is my dog Toby. Now, the couple times that I've been the special guest on Craft Roulette, Toby has made some appearances in the show, so I added him. Then I was about to color the little girl, and I was like, if Mary, who you'll see there in the purple because she's team purple, down in the bottom is Mr. Producer, or Steven, he's team orange, and they're throwing a party. Maybe it's Paperganza. And anyways, the little girl just didn't go, because if Mary's going to have a little kid sidekick, you know it's going to be JD. And anytime that she says JD, we eat chocolate on Craft Roulette. So he's going to have a little chocolate cupcake. And then I made a piñata. Mary's got a gift. If it's a birthday gift, you know what's in there. It's going to be a present where you get to make it yourself. Right? Maybe a little craft challenge is in there. Okay, so here's my scene for the piñata. That's supposed to be Steven. He's going to hit the piñata. Crafty goodness is going to come falling out. But he's not facing the piñata, and I was really upset about that. But then I was like, you know, when you do a piñata, you get spun around, and then you're not always facing the piñata, and that's the funniest part. So I went ahead and left it, and then there's JD with his chocolate cupcake, and then I added some balloons floating in the air because, you know, that's what happens at a party. Chaos and fun and balloons floating off when you don't mean them to, and it's all part of the fun. So now it's time to add a sentiment. Now this is where I'm bringing in my half and half. I'm going to have half of my sentiment be on the top picture and the other half be on the bottom picture. So let's see how that goes. I'm actually masking off part of the sentiment because I need it to stack. My area is not big enough to have this whole thing go, you know, horizontally across. So I was deciding where I wanted it. I decided up by the tree was better. So it's going to say, hope your day is, that's what's going to be on the top part. And then on the second part will be the rest of the sentiment. And it's going to say fun filled. And that's because Merry Gun Fun, right? So I'm going to add the word fun there because that's something she might say. And Mary likes to add an N to the word fun because her last name Gun is spelled with 2 N's. So I'm going to bring in a black pen and add in my not as cute, but still extra N right there. Yeah, so then it's going to be fun with 2 N's. This is totally Craft Roulette inspired. And a lot of these things that I'm talking about, you get them when you're watching the show, like Team Orange and Team Purple. And it's just, you know, what color do you like the most? Are you Team Orange or Team Purple? And some people are like, no, I'm Team Teal, or no, I'm Team Rainbow. And I was at Paperganza. Our table, our pod was Team Rainbow. So this is a shout out to Team Rainbow and a Crafty Owl, who I'm sure picked the theme of our table. All right, so now I'm making the double slider. So I brought out my Emergency Card Essentials die set number 3, which has all the things you need to make a double slider, like this kind of H looking piece. And then you need a piece of plastic like you get from, what was in here? Paper, you know, cardstock paper was in it. And you get a strip, you wrap it around, you don't want it super tight, and you're going to adhere one end to the other end with some double-sided adhesive tape. And I did struggle. I did struggle a little bit with this, trying to find the right end, get it the right tightness. And then once I was all said and done doing this, I decided it wasn't going to work, and I have to jimmy rig it. So if you want to see me jimmy rig something, stay tuned. It's about to happen. All right, so I've got this all put together right now, and you want that to slide around, and then you're going to attach your photos to that plastic piece, and when you pull them, one's going to go down, the other one's going to go up. But I realized with that small of the H mechanism, my pictures weren't going to slide out far enough. I needed that H mechanism to be bigger. So what I'm going to do is some partial die cutting. See how my plate doesn't cover the whole die? I'm going to partially die cut out that H. And then I'm going to pick up the die and scoot it down and partially die cut it again so that my pictures can pop all the way out of the camera. So you got more options. If you need to make this thing bigger, you totally can. So I played with my pictures, brought in my camera, fussed with it, moved it, did it again, all the things. And I got it to where I was pretty sure it was going to work. It was a little bit of a gamble, but I'll just tell you the truth. It worked. It worked. I was so excited. All right, so again, I need to wrap this with a strip of that plastic, and you can see it moves around. It's kind of hard to do with your fingers before things are attached. And then I'm going to attach an extra scrap piece to the back of my photos because you will be able to see them from the back, and that Copic marker coloring bleeds through. Plus, it just makes them a little bit more sturdy. All right, so I have this face up. I put some adhesive at the top right over the adhesive that was already there when I attached the plastic to the H, and that's where you're going to attach the photo that's going to come out the bottom. Then I will flip it over and attach the one that's going to come out the top, but I'm only attaching it at the bottom of the picture because the top is the part we want to see. If I attach the top, it would not come out. So that's how you do that. And then it should, yes, slide, and look, you can see my sentiments. It works out great. Then we need some adhesive on the side of the H. So I have these adhesive foam strips, and I'm going to put one on the front, one on the back. Now this is going to make for a fat card, okay? It's thick. because it has adhesive on both sides. And then wherever you have open space around this, you need to match up that level of adhesive around it so that, you know, you don't have the rest of your card just flapping in the breeze. I can't have that. So yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to put this down as low as I can on this card because I want those balloons to show. I want the whole, you know, as much as the scene to show as I possibly can. Now, I thought my bottom picture would stick out of the card a little bit. It really doesn't. So I should have used this little finger notch before I attached everything, but I didn't. And this is not the first time I've forgotten to do it ahead of time. Well, this time I just thought I didn't need to. So I cut it with my scissors. It's not perfect. It's not even pretty. But it is what it is. It's a handmade card, and I made it work. And really, I think only you and I are going to know that it looks a slight bit janky. Okay, so let's just keep that between us. All right, so we're going to stick this down as low as I can towards the bottom of this camera, and that's going to allow my scenes to show beautifully. Okay, it's going to be so good. So I'm holding that in place for a minute because I added some liquid glue as well. And look at that. It shows everything's working great. So now we're going to put a little bit more of that foam adhesive strips around the edge. We're going to build them up and just make this the fattest card. Yeah. It needs 3 levels, and I think it's because the strips that I'm using to go on the outer edge, they are the same strips, but it was like an oopsie pack where it didn't get adhesive on one side, and so I got them for free as being part of the, you know, Trinity design team, like, hey, could you use these? So I did, and I needed an extra level, so it is a really thick card. All right, so I have a card base there where I just partially die cut the folded in half piece of paper, so the camera die was actually off of the fold at the top. That gives me a top folding card, and I can't stop playing with the mechanism. It's so good. But I want to make sure that the recipient knows what to do with this card. So I brought out my Papercrafting Magic stamp set. It has all the words. If you like movers and shakers type of cards, this is the set for you. So I stamped the word pull on the bottom of that picture. Now I had some leftover, you know, characters for my card that I didn't end up using on the outside, Kerwin and Toby and some extra gifts. So I put those on the inside, and then I'm going to stamp happy birthday as another sentiment on the inside. So this card's full of sentiments, but remember, I've got half and half. Half on one picture, half on the other, so I'm doing good. I would say my theater colors are the rainbow because in the episode, Mary kept mentioning the play Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, so I'm going with that. And then on the back, I added another die cut panel just to make it more sturdy, and so you can't really see that partially die cut folded top of the actual card base. So there's my cute card. I think it meets all the parameters. We've got the theater colors, we've got the photo element, we've got half and half, and what was the first one that I can't even remember? Yeah, picture? Yeah, we've got it all there. I think it's a really fun card. I had fun making it using all of the rainbow and the sparkle and all of the things. So if you have not checked out Craft Roulette, make sure you check it out Friday nights at 5:30. It's my time, Mountain Standard Time, whatever that translates for you, and join in the fun. If you want to see the products that I use, I will link as much of them as I can in the description box below. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon with a brand new paper crafting video. Happy stamping! Bye!